One of the most common questions that we've been getting lately over at LeadCapture is what's the best way to report my leads and conversions from my lead funnel that I've created inside of LeadCapture back into Meta so I can track my conversions, so I can see my CPL, and so Meta can learn from my best qualified leads to send me better traffic so I get more qualified leads. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. You can think of this video as kind of like your full guide for the best way to set up meta conversion tracking inside of LeadCapture. I'm going to show you how to use AI to help a little bit here, but we're also going to walk through this manually because I think that's the best way to probably learn. So let's dive into this. You also get to see me stumble around meta because no matter how many times I do this, I always screw up. And you are not alone if you mess this up as well. But this is where AI can help us out a little bit. So to start, maybe you're coming in and you're building your funnel and you're a little bit confused around what to do, what's the best practice for setting up meta conversion tracking. There's a lot of different advice that exists online. So let's just ask AI, what do we do? How do I set up my meta conversion tracking? You don't even need to spell it, right? Hit enter. And then we've trained AI Copilot to help out with this. So Copilot can not only go and set up different parts of your funnel, it can also set up different parts of the meta conversion tracking. Can add your pixel, if you give it your pixel, can add it into the funnel here, and it can set up conversion tracking and all that. But it also has context around the best way to set this all up inside of LeadCapture, so this way you can get it set up the right way the first time around. So let's just read through what it said here. And don't worry, I'm not going to read through and just like bail on this video. I'm actually going to go through the steps and get all this set up. So the response here is to set up meta conversion tracking inside of LeadCapture. There's basically two layers that you're going to use together. And this is really, I think, important to walk through because these are questions that come up. Should I use the meta pixel? Should I use CAPI? Well, this is saying that you actually want to use both combined, and there's a pretty good reason for this. So you're going to want to use the meta pixel, the pixel that you would see like up here in the meta pixel helper, client side, and then CAPI server side to get more accurate attribution tracking. And so this way, Meta sends you better qualified leads. So let's take a look at the steps here. Step one is to get your credentials. So you'll go into Meta Events Manager and just grab your Meta Pixel ID. Then you're going to need your Dataset ID and your access token. We're going to walk through all of that in a moment. Step two is to enable your Meta Pixel in LeadCapture. I'll show you how to do that. Even Copilot can help you with that. Then you'll assign a pixel event for when the lead fires to fire back into Meta. Then you're going to enable Conversion API and then a test event. You'll do your testing, of course, and then go from there. So let's go through this process manually. And first, we're going to go into settings. When you go into settings, go all of the way down here to where you see tracking and analytics. Pretend that's turned off and enable it. And the next thing to do is you're going to need to go into your Meta Events Manager and grab your Meta Pixel ID. So we'll go into Events Manager. Imagine you're looking at this screen. There's probably multiple ways to get this, but I'm just going to go on over to, where is it? Events Manager here. In this account, I think I only have like one or two pixel IDs. I believe this is it. But another way to get to it is to come into this section, and here is the ID. And then I'm just going to grab that and drop it right in here. So step one is already complete, but there's one more thing we have to do in step one, and that's to set the conversion event wherever the lead conversion happens. And I'll show you what I mean by that. But before I do that, there's one thing I want to note here, and that's that one of the unique things about LeadCapture is we're also capturing the FBP, and that's the browser ID, and the FBC, the click ID, from the cookie when the prospect loads on the landing page, and then we're sending that back into Meta for you. You can even map that to your CRM and lead distribution tool, and this ultimately helps you more accurately report data back to Meta so you get better traffic and better leads. Next, let's talk about firing the Meta conversion event back into Meta and show you how that setup works. And then before we go to CAPI, we're also going to have to discuss whitelisting domains, because if you miss that step, all of this might break. So first, go into funnel and then decide where you want the conversion event to fire. Maybe it happens up here, maybe it happens in the middle. If you have an OTP step, maybe it happens there. It's completely up to you. It doesn't really matter where you do that. It doesn't matter where you do that. It doesn't matter to me, it matters to you. So figure that part out. In my case, I'm going to put this on the contact step. So basically where the prospect is submitting. And what we'll do now is we'll click on this little pencil. Clicking on this opens up this left-hand side menu here. You should be where you see content. Click here if you're not looking at that section and go all of the way down. And you're going to choose the Meta Pixel event of lead. In this case, I already have it set up. But if you're setting this up for the first time, it would show none. I'm going to choose lead. So what's going to happen here, and also hit save. So what's going to happen here is anytime somebody comes into your funnel and completes, in this case, this step, the conversion event will be fired back into Meta. And a key thing to note is they actually have to complete the step. If somebody comes in and clicks this button 10 times, it won't fire the conversion event 10 times. They actually have to complete and become a conversion. So now, if we load the page, this isn't the right page, let's load this page here. If we load the page, we should see the Meta Pixel ID show up. And for some reason, it's saying no pixels found on this page. So let's see what I did wrong here. Maybe I didn't save something. We have the Meta Pixel lead event set up. We're going to go all of the way down here. And I see that I have my pixel added in. Oh, I see the problem. I have an A/B test running. So this is a good time to pitch A/B testing. One of the things that you can do inside of LeadCapture is set up an A/B test. I'm just going to mark this as inconclusive, and I think I was working out of the control. So I think it was serving up a variant page for me. Yep, okay. So I had an A/B test running. I completely forgot, even though it said that there was an A/B test running across the top. And I accidentally fired the variant. So now, just to summarize where we're at, we have the Meta Pixel ID added, and then we have the Facebook conversion event firing whenever somebody hits this step and submits. Then if we look at this page here, you will see here is the Meta Pixel event firing inside of the Meta Pixel helper, and it's giving us all of the information that we need. Now, if you come in here and you see this icon is yellow and it says something like warning, that means that something is wrong. And typically the thing that's wrong, like in 95% of cases, or even maybe 99% of cases, is that the domain that you're using isn't set up on the Facebook allowed list. For example, if you're coming into LeadCapture and if you're setting up a funnel, we're automatically generating a domain on LeadCapture on the subdomain my.leadcapture.io with some random link. This probably is not part of your allowed list inside of Meta. You can also set your own custom domain, and you just want to make sure you have that domain on your allowed list. So to be safe, the best thing you can do is come into Meta Events Manager, go to your dataset, go to settings, wait for it to load, go all the way down, and go to your allow list. At this point, you're going to want to allow the following domains. In this case, I already have my.leadcapture.io and subdomains, but let's just pretend you don't have that. Add it in, you would type in my.leadcapture.io, type that in, click next, follow the process. And then for your own domains, make sure they're included as well. Like one of my domains is Tap My Mortgage, that's included, so that way it will work. If you do not have those set up, then if you do not have your domains whitelisted in the allow list, then it's probably not going to work. And another thing, make sure you do not have block lists selected when you're setting this up, or else it's just going to block it right out of the gate. Okay, so that's a really key thing. And again, I think CAPI won't work if you don't have this set up. I don't think your pixel will work correctly, so just make sure all that's set up. Now let's discuss CAPI. because this is that second part to all of this. So go into settings and then go all the way down. And the prereq for this is you're going to need to have your Metapixel ID set up. If you do not have that here in this field, you'll see you can't even enable CAPI. So make sure you have your Metapixel ID there, then enable CAPI. Just flip that switch, and there's a few things that you need here. First, you're going to need your Dataset ID. So you'll type that in. I'll show you how to get that. Then you're going to need your access token. And then once you type in your access token, you can also include some additional fields for enhanced matching. We'll discuss that in a moment. But let's back up and let's go get these values from inside of Meta, and then we'll add them right inside of LeadCapture. So let's just back up. Let's imagine you're looking at this page. So to get your ID here, your dataset ID, go to settings. Here's the dataset ID. Again, maybe there's a better way to get to this. I don't really know. This is how I do it. So go to dataset ID, grab that, go back into Meta. Go back into LeadCapture, add in your dataset ID. Then you need your access token. So this can be a little confusing, but I'll show you how to grab this. So go back to Meta, make sure you're in settings, the same settings section where you found your dataset ID. Go all of the way down to the bottom here, and you're going to set up a direct integration. Do not choose this conversion API gateway here. Instead, choose your direct integration and keep this option selected. Set up with Dataset Quality API recommended. Just keep it like that. Generate your access token. And then you're going to see your dataset. I'll just keep it like this. Click Generate Access Token. And then wait a minute. And then here, you're going to copy this code to your clipboard. Now, this will not be saved inside of Meta. So if you need it again, make sure you save it. Go back into your funnel and enter in your access token. So there's your access token. You can click Show if you need to see it, and then click Save. So at this point, you've set up the Metapixel. You have the conversion event firing. That's all on the client side. And then server side, there's CAPI set up. We have our dataset ID and our access token, and then you can add in a test code for testing, like that, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then finally, there's enhanced matching. So if you're grabbing fields like city, state, zip code, country, you can also send these values in as hashed values into Meta, and then that can help improve Meta's quality match. I forget exactly what they call it, and then somehow that helps Meta send you better traffic. That's at least my understanding of it. Somebody could probably explain that 10 times better. But you can come in and just match whatever fields you have. In your funnel, this is not required at all. It's just something additional that you can do. So at this point, everything is set up. You would want to click Save, go in, do your testing, make sure it's working, and then before you go live, just remove the test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, click Save, and you are all set. Now, before I end this video, one question might come up, and it's, do I need both the Metapixel on the client side and Conversion API CAPI on the server side set up at the same time? And the answer to that is you do not need to do that, but it does help, and you do not need to worry about it breaking things or potentially creating duplicate events because Facebook will dedupe the records for you. So it's nothing that you should have to worry about. I probably would go through the work to get both of these set up at the same time. So that way you have best reporting possible. And so Facebook's sending you the best traffic. So if you have any questions from there, feel free to reach out. Always happy to help. Thank you.